everyone, and welcome to the Marana Chamber Podcast. I'm Audra Winters, and I'm your host for today's podcast. Thank you for joining us. Our podcasts feature Marana Chamber members and business owners sharing information about their business, what makes them successful, what they have learned, and tips to help with your business and your daily life. We hope that you will find these podcasts helpful and entertaining, and that you will let others know about them. Our podcasts today are being recorded and edited by Anstar Production Group. I would now like to welcome our guest for today's show, Kevin Marshall of Profitopia. And he's even brought some friends with him. So welcome, Kevin, and friends.
Yes, and friends. Yes, thank you, Audra, for having all of us. There's 47 people here in the studio.
And this is just a small portion of your friends, right?
Yes. No, there's only 3 of us. Okay. Sorry, it's not 47, but just 3.
Well, would you like to introduce them?
Oh, sure. So Cody Hallett is our Chief Operating Officer. Cody, say hi.
Hi there.
I said say hi, not say hi there.
Oh.
That works. And he actually is here from Utah. He is driving down, and he believes so much in what we're doing that he's jumped on board and making the commute all the way from Utah.
What a beautiful drive, though, too.
It's not a bad drive. I enjoy it.
Good. Well, welcome. Glad you could make the drive.
He used to live in Tucson, so
okay.
So it's familiar stomping grounds for him. And then Sean Smiley is our VP of. I was gonna say VP of Finance, but, but that would probably be a mistake. Yeah. So no, VP of Sales.
That would be a mistake.
Actually, way more important than finance.
You don't have any sales. You got
there's nothing. There's nothing to count. If you don't have sales, there's nothing to count, right? So the VP of Finance would have nothing to do.
Well, and Kevin is the owner. Just so I clarify that. He is the brains behind Profitopia. And Profitopia is not your only business, right? I mean, you have other businesses and you have other things on the side. But today we want to kind of focus on Profitopia.
On Profitopia, but then specifically the ERC program.
Exactly. Okay. Well, tell me a little bit about yourself, first of all. What makes Kevin Kevin, and then a little bit about Profitopia.
Sure.
itself.
So I've been a CPA for a long time, 35 years now. It's hard to believe. The time goes by quickly. But so we've been here in Tucson now 13 years. We have 3 children, and and I say that very loosely. My wife homeschools our 3 children. She's been doing that for about 5 years. And we actually went virtual for our firm. It was about 12, 13 years ago. So people asked, how did the pandemic affect you? Well, our business was already virtual, and we were already homeschooling our kids. So it didn't affect us that much, obviously. Well, we had COVID, and we survived. But I love working with small businesses. I've been doing this as a CFO or a controller, a CPA my entire career. So I've worked with thousands of business owners and absolutely love it. I've only worked once in a sales position for Robert Half as an executive job recruiter, and they're about a $3 billion company, and I hated it. I don't know, Audra, what your background is. Now you get to work with a lot of small businesses.
Lots of small businesses or large corporations.
Have you worked with large corporations?
Yeah. But mostly I've worked for nonprofits.
Oh, okay.
And so that's been my career. That's kind of my passion. But I do understand, large corporations too.
As well. I can't stand working with large. It's just not me. It's just not who I am. So, we have a firm that does bookkeeping and accounting and payroll and taxes and what have you. And then all of a sudden the ERC popped up, and it was kind of strange. It came across my radar screen maybe 2 months ago, and I went, that sounds interesting, but I don't have time. And that seems to be the response that we're getting as we're right, you guys, as we talk to people. It's just been unbelievable. And then one of my partners, who is a business consultant and a business coach, his name is Carl Gould. And I asked him, I said, have you heard of the ERC? And he has 40 business coaches that work for him. So he's, runs a, multi-million-dollar coaching business. And Carl said, no, I've never heard of the ERC. So I went, ooh, we're on to something here.
What is the ERC?
Audra, had you heard of the ERC before?
Yes.
You had, okay.
But What is the ERC?
Okay. Oh,
I
yes.
mean, it's got to stand for something.
It does, yes.
In your secret club you have going on here.
So, yeah, it's the ERC, the Employee Retention Credit is what it stands for. So that's why, because it's a mouthful, so that's why we like to just say ERC for short. But I've got to say, at least for me, 95% of the people I talk to have never heard of it. Sean, right?
Yeah, 1995.
It's just unbelievable.
So it's a program for small business.
It's a program for small businesses that's I would say similar to PPP.
Okay.
So it's fun.
What is PPP?
Oh, the paycheck. The paycheck. No, pretend I can't say that even. Wow.
Paycheck protection.
It's the PPP. Sean, what is it?
The Paycheck Protection
Protection Program.
Okay.
Thank
All
you.
right,
There
so
we
we
go.
have all these acronyms.
They both came out as part of the CARES Act in 2020.
Okay.
And businesses last year, when it first came out, had to choose between one or the other. And then in December, they altered it, amended the law, and said businesses could now do both.
Could do both.
Yeah, because I know everyone was on PPP.
Oh,
and
my
then
goodness,
there
that was the whole
PPE,
thing, yeah.
And then there's
Oh, right.
all these PPPs. So it was nice to actually have another acronym that didn't have a P in it, right? So it's nice that there's also this program, the ERC.
Yes.
It sounds a lot more formal, though.
Does it?
Yeah, ERC. It's almost
ERC?
like the
Okay.
FBI or something.
Ooh, okay. Interesting.
But the
So-
ERC, and it's
It's a stimulus program.
so it's not a grant.
It's not a grant.
It's not a loan.
It's not a loan.
It's
Is it a tax credit?
It's a tax credit.
ding, 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 ding.
So without getting too nerdy as a CPA, right? It's technically a payroll tax credit is really what it is. And then people just gloss over, what does that even mean, right? Well, it's a refund. It's coming from the IRS. It's not coming from SBA like the PPP was. It's not a loan. It's an actual refund right directly from the IRS.
Okay. So, especially with your other business where you are helping small businesses with their taxes, their payroll. I mean, this goes hand in hand
It does.
with what you're already doing. So
Correct.
it's just a very seamless process for you to...
Well,
for you-
yeah, sure.
Well, for you to understand.
Sure, whatever you say.
IRS is always streamless, right? There's no paperwork or anything like that. So employers need to have employees, obviously, because they need to have payroll because it's payroll credit.
Technically, Audra, so we are working with a handful of clients that, and I'll whisper this, they were paying their people as 1099 contractors.
Okay. Yes.
Whether that was right but I'm whispering, right? So I'm not divulging names, but whether that was right, wrong, or otherwise, but they were paying their people, quote, oh, you can't see, we're on the radio, I'm doing quotation marks. They were paying their people as 1099 contractors, and guess what they've done? They're converting them to employees, so now they're eligible for the ERC.
Okay, good.
So, which is great, which is good for the economy, it's good for their business, it's good for their employees, because now they're full-fledged employees.
Which can help with other benefits too.
Exactly.
We won't get into those, but just
Right.
with other benefits too, they
Right.
can. So I know that the deadline was going to be March 31st
Which
Right.
which deadline?
on the ERC, right?
Nope.
And then they just changed it now?
The original deadline was June 30th.
Oh, June 30th.
It
Okay.
was first and second quarter of 2021.
Okay.
But the American Recovery Act? Recovery Plan?
Yeah.
The American Recovery. I'm glad that my support is here to correct me when I'm like, it was whatever President Biden signed into law 2 weeks ago, extended the credit program through the end of 2021.
Okay.
So all 4 quarters of 2021, employers can be eligible for the credit.
For the credit. Okay. And so what if they have gotten their PPP loan? Can they get both?
You can do both. And so I have to be really careful how I phrase this, because I've said this before and people misinterpret what I say. You cannot double dip, meaning you can do both. You can do the PPP and you can do ERC, but for every dollar of wages, you have to allocate that dollar to either the PPP program or the ERC program. You cannot allocate that dollar to both. That's the differentiation.
Makes total sense.
Oh, sure. Yeah. This is like so simple and straightforward.
Well, and
it
I
makes
must
sense.
also say too that this is what's happening right now as we're recording, which is March 22nd. Okay, so if you're listening to this at the end of the year, because these are going to last forever, things have changed. Could have changed too.
Most
'Cause
definitely.
It's the government, so every day it's going to be changing too. So there
Exactly.
could be another fantastic program out there.
All right.
So-
True.
But if you're listening to it in this time period, just know that these are the things that you're eligible for now. And as a small business owner, or if you work for a small business, or your neighbor runs a small business,
Your uncle runs a small business.
definitely let them know about the ERC.
And so it's available for companies under 500 employees.
500 employees,
Well,
which
Audra,
is
You mentioned that you have a background with nonprofits, and nonprofits also can qualify.
okay. So a 501c3.
Correct.
Yes. Okay.
So nonprofits qualify for this as well.
Okay.
Another
Excellent.
new thing is seasonal employees are now available.
Okay.
That was not available for until the American Rescue Plan Act, which just got.
Okay, good, because a lot of seasonal employees will come on for like holidays or if you're going into tourism season or something like that too. So
And then, so there's now, and again, I try not to geek out or get into the weeds too much, but this is where it gets very confusing and complicated. And that's why we're offering the service that we offer to help people navigate this. There's actually 3 provisions in the ERC. There's the 2020 provision, there's the first and second quarter of 2021 provision, and now there's the third and fourth quarter provision. Have different rules, different guidelines, different measurements. So now you got 2 PPPs, right? PPP1, PPP2, and now you have ERC1, ERC2, and ERC3. So it gets a little overwhelming.
it does. Well, especially if you're just trying to run your business. You're trying to keep the doors open. You're trying to
Exactly.
keep everyone masked up. You're trying to keep everything clean. You don't need, so that's where you need to contact Profitopia to
Correct.
help you with that.
And we are there to help out.
Because you've
Correct.
done all the research and you're keeping up with all the latest
Yes.
information and stuff too. So
as best we can, because I mean, literally, as of this moment, again, you gave the date. As of this moment, if you look at the IRS website, it says in big, bold, red letters at the top, we still have not come out with guidance, the final guidance on these acts. It's that like fresh and new.
Yeah. So it's new, but now is the time to start educating yourself and getting with the professionals that are keeping up with all this. So if they wanted to get a hold of Profitopia, is it profitopia.com?
Yeah,
Yes.
Or just Google Profitopia, Kevin Marshall.
well, they can go ahead.
We set up a special website just
Okay.
for this, just to keep it clear and simple. That's ercadvisor.com.
ercadvisor.com.
That's right.
Okay. Very good.
That would be the easiest. That would
Okay.
be the best to go to.
And
And
also,
the phone number, right?
On the phone number.
Yes.
yeah, do you want to share the phone number?
888-PR-TOPIA. So
888-PR-TOPIA. And also, if you go to the Chamber's website also, which is moranachamber.com, go under our directory under Profitopia, you'll be able to find all their contact information. And when I get back, we're going to get that updated too to make sure that special website will be on there. And we also have a flyer in our e-newsletter, if you are receiving that it's in there too. So, and if you're not receiving it, we'd love for you to receive it. So,
Sure.
Anyway.
Well, let me give you, because I'm a numbers guy, right?
Okay.
So let me give you some real live case studies to kind of give our listeners an idea of the dollar amounts we're talking about. Because my initial reaction when I first heard about the ERC was like, oh yeah, that sounds nice, but I just don't have the time to look at this. So we'll use a little bit smaller company first, 6 employees. They were eligible for remember, there's multiple provisions in different years. They were eligible for the 2020 provision, and it was $20,000. So hey, who wouldn't want $20,000?
Was that
right?
PPP or ERC?
That was ERC. They had received the PPP 1 and PPP 2. So they received an additional $20,000 and again, it's a refund. And then this is where it gets interesting. I think the number one question that we get asked is, oh, how much is my refund going to be? Well, there's no straight answer because you have to look at both the PPP money and the program and the ERC program to be able to maximize the refund that could be potentially there between the two programs. So in this particular case, again, 6 employees, and again, it's hard to say too because and we'll get to how you qualify. That's really the most important part. We'll get to that in a second. But how you qualify, let's assume for a moment that this particular company only qualified for the first half of 2021. It's another $70,000 in stimulus money for this business that only has 6 employees. If they qualified for the rest of 2021, it would be another $70,000. So we're talking huge dollar amounts here. This is nothing to sneeze at. This is nothing to go, oh, well, whatever. I mean, these could potentially be the lifeline or lifeblood to a company that's struggling.
Exactly. And, like you say, it's 6 employees, whether it be a restaurant or air conditioning company or, just anything. So it's best to get with an expert like Profitopia and making sure that you're getting advantage of all these, because you think about, 2 years ago, all those taxes that you're paying as a business owner or as an individual, now is your opportunity because you have suffered as a business owner, no matter if you're like, oh, this is the best year yet or blah, blah, blah. There's still some things that you've suffered from. And so you need to take advantage of this. Because it's there. It's not going anywhere. No. They voted it into law. The congressmen, senators that you voted in there are now, finally are taking care of you. So you need to take advantage of this. So the other illustration would be a company we're working with in Tucson. And we're working with people all over the country. We have clients all over the country. I was just who was I talking to this morning? Talking to somebody. See, it's six employees, and he was in Denver. So, anyways, but a 19-person company here in Tucson, real numbers. They did not qualify for PPP2. Did not. So they got PPP1, which was about $150,000. So, for 19 employees, it was a good amount. Their ERC credit is $230,000. Nice. So it's actually higher than the PPP. And then one last illustration would be a company in Florida. They have 60 employees. Their maximum credit is in the neighborhood of $1 million. So again, how much of that will be refunded? We don't know. You have to go through and do this individual calculation, employee by employee, pay period by pay period, to allocate the funds. So again, I just wanted to share some real live examples to give the listeners an idea. Like, this is serious money. Yes, and it's worth taking the time to get with an expert and to work through it, grab some paperwork, because it's going to and take the time to do it, because in the long run, it'll definitely pay off for you.
Exactly. So there's multiple measurement periods, but basically the way that a business, again, so under 500 employees, but the way that a business would qualify is the first test would be first quarter of 2021 cash receipts versus first quarter of 2019. Okay. So 20, not to 20, but for whatever reason, so 2021 to 2019, was there a reduction of 20% in your cash receipts? So the 2020 measurement was 50% reduction. So that's why a lot of people won't qualify for 2020, but at a 20% reduction, that opens it up to a lot more eligible businesses.
And that makes sense. I can see the majority of businesses at least having a 20% decrease from 2019. 19, because 19 we were in the height, we were, everybody was spending money, we had money, blah, blah, blah. And then 2020, probably not so much in the first quarter.
Right.
But definitely comparing 21 to 19, I think is going to give you a nice apples to apples or oranges to bananas or whatever the saying
Watermelon, right? Sure, whatever.
So,
So that's so either you qualify or you don't. I mean, that's really what it, even if you had 400 employees and you go, woohoo, my credit could be $3 million. Well, if you didn't have a 20% reduction in cash receipts, then you get nothing.
Yeah. But it's still
It's
beneficial to go through the activity of figuring that out.
Well, and this is where it gets interesting too, because now with the new act that is, because I keep forgetting the name of it, it's called the
American Rescue Plan Act.
This is why I brought Cody along with me. Thank you so much, Cody. But because of that, it's now the whole year. So if you have a 20%, Audra, if you have a 20% reduction in any quarter of 2021 versus 2019, then you could be eligible for these credits.
Well, yeah, because you think about your business probably closed May, April, May, June. So that's pretty much second quarter.
Right.
So right there.
So who knows? We don't know if a person will qualify because we're not even in the second quarter yet, let alone the third or the fourth quarter. So that's what we're telling people, is that you should be looking at this now. Don't wait. Now, what was interesting also, guys, I'm referring to, sorry, Audra.
It's okay.
I'm looking at my guys.
I've been called worse.
I'm looking at my guys. All of y'all, I'm from Connecticut. I'm not from down south, but y'all. What's interesting is one of the other provisions that the new Rescue Act, the American Rescue Plan. See, I'll get it right one of these days. So that
and then they'll change it. They'll come up with a new one.
Of course. PPP and CARES Act and oh my goodness, right? It keeps going. But one of the new things that came out that now employers have up to 5 years to be able to apply for this credit. So it's just there's no way that every single business owner in America is going to find out about the ERC in the next 6 months, right? So now that opens up that window of opportunity over the next 5 years for people to go back and get their credit later.
Exactly. So you're going to be busy for a while.
I know. That's what I keep telling these guys.
It's good job security for Cody.
Which is good. So, and that's good that you have a great team of staff working with you and doing the research and
So I can't, Audra, I can't keep up. We just got a new we've moved into bigger offices. We now have Sean, correct me, are we at the 4 salespeople? I can't keep track.
Yeah, no,
4 and maybe a fifth one, maybe a fifth one tomorrow. So yeah, it's just, and again, I can't stress this enough that it's just mind-boggling that people have not heard about this. So we're doing press releases, we're doing social media advertising. We're just trying to get the word out to business owners because they could use the money.
Exactly. So that's why I really appreciate you taking the time to come here today.
Yeah.
Because again, it's just all about helping. Something that helps you is going to help another person and
Exactly.
so forth too. So
Exactly.
So anyway, anything else you'd like to share about Profitopia? You're an excellent public speaker.
Thank you.
Any gigs coming up? Anything that we can?
Oh,
catch?
I know. Yes, I'm speaking. Guess what I'm speaking on? What topic I'm speaking on April 1st? Take a guess. What could it be?
Maybe the ERC.
The ERC for an hour. A 34-page PowerPoint presentation. Ooh. Deep dive into the ERC, right? And it's going to be
no fooling. It's on April
1st. Oh, and yeah, no fooling around on April Fool's Day. But it's at the Arizona Sands Club at 8 a.m.
Okay.
So I know that you guys have reciprocal membership or something with the Arizona Sands Club?
We have a way-in.
You have a way-in?
Yeah.
So any of the Marana members would be able to attend.
Okay.
Right?
Sure.
Just
say that they're with Anstar because Anstar's a member too. So
I'm a member at the Arizona Sands Club, and yeah, anybody is welcome.
Okay.
Yeah, they're obviously looking to grow their membership.
Yeah, and it's such a nice facility and such nice.
Yeah. So a little plug for the Sands Club. If you have not heard of the Sands Club or not, but you need to go, and the best time to go would be on April 1st.
April 1st. Or March 30th.
The chamber. Yes.
Too.
Yeah, we will be there. Okay, and so why don't you put a plug in for that?
Yes, we'll have you.
No, put in a plug.
Oh, okay. Well, we're going to have you do a plug that night, too.
Oh, no, put in a plug to your listeners.
So March 30th, we're doing a multi-chamber event at the Arizona Sands Club. They're actually hosting us. So come out. It's at the Arizona Stadium upstairs. You can take the elevator. It's
Fifth
great
floor.
parking. But there'll be complimentary appetizers. So they have a great chef on hand.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yes. Yeah. And they have a great bar too. So come and try the appetizers, but then come back that next morning on the 1st, 2 days later, and try breakfast.
Sure.
So,
Yeah, why not?
all right. Any other final thoughts? Something that we didn't
What
go
else,
over
guys?
with you?
Anything?
One common question that's been coming up lately is, what about businesses that weren't in business in Q1 of 2019?
So what's interesting is under the new act, which Cody is called the
American Rescue Plan Act.
Rescue.
the rescue plan, there is a new provision that businesses that started, I don't remember the exact date. It was like after February 22nd or somewhere in February. We'll just say February. Created February of 2020 or later, now can be eligible for the ERC. So even new businesses can qualify.
Good,
So
good,
yeah, that's a
because-
great question, Sean. Yes.
Yes, as a chamber, we're always looking for people to start business and wanting to help them. Too,
Help them
so.
as well. Yeah. So this is a great boost for startups, for new businesses that started. Yeah.
Excellent. And what was that website again?
The website is ercadvisor.com.
And the phone number, Sean?
888-PR-TOPIA.
Okay. Profitopia also offers a lot of other great services, so please check them out. Thank you again, gentlemen. It's a great day to spend with you and
Yes,
to learn more
thank
about the
you.
ERC, and appreciate your membership with the chamber too, and look forward to working more with you. I'd like to also thank Anstar Production Group for hosting us today here in their studio. And please remember to shop local, shop big, shop often, and be kind to one another. Thank you so much.